Hello, hello, everyone. Brie Sodano here, coming to you live. Today, I have a super quick talk about what is money mindset, right? I'm doing a free masterclass. It's going to be tomorrow and Friday about money mindset, and so I've been promoting this class to my list. And sometimes people are like, "What are you even talking about? What is money mindset?" And so I figured I would just come on to just kind of explain what it is and why anybody would care about it. Like, why would you care about your money mindset enough to come hang out with me for an hour? Besides the fact that I am super fun to be with. All right. So, if this is our first time getting to know each other, please say hello. My name is Brie Stano. I'm a personal finance expert. I'm the founder from Sheep to Shark. I am super excited to be doing this very, very quick, little mini training with you today. So if this isn't your first time if this isn't your first time watching me, please say hello so that way I know that you're here. And if you learned something cool on this, please feel free to share this video. I want everybody in the whole wide world to know that I am doing this free masterclass tomorrow and Friday, and register for it if they want to come. You don't have to come live; you can watch the replay, and there is a fantastic workbook with all the activities that is super beneficial. So let's just talk about money mindset. So we'll talk about mindset in general. So the way that people think impacts their lives. And the way that it kind of comes to be is that your thoughts like make you feel a certain way, right? Like if I wanted to right now, I could make a list of every single time my husband has ever hurt my feelings or pissed me off, right? And within a few minutes, we've been together almost 20 years. I could make a list and I could go downstairs feeling some kind of way, right? I could do that. That is my thoughts. If I take my thoughts and I go looking for something like that, I will find it. And then I could make myself feel bad, right? I could also I could take my thoughts and I could recount every single time he's ever done anything nice for me, which that list would be significantly longer. And I could go downstairs, you know, in a whole different kind of mood. So thoughts inspire feelings. Then your feelings inspire your actions, right? Like, so if you're feeling extra generous today, you're feeling full of love and abundance, you're probably going to act differently that day. If you're feeling scarcity, like I'll tell you, when I'm feeling scarcity, I am more likely to be irritable. I'm more likely to be short. I'm more likely to lose my not like my temper, but like my patience. Like I'm not as kind, I'm not as gentle, right? So our thoughts, make us feel a certain kind of way. Our feelings inspire certain kind of actions. Our actions then create our set of circumstances, right? So can you imagine my dinner tonight if I go downstairs having thought of all the wonderful things my husband does for me, or every single time I was ever mad at him, right? You can see that that's going to impact the dinner that I serve and the night that we have. So those actions that I take, those feelings that I have, those thoughts that I think, all come to be part of the set of circumstances. So when it comes to money, this is an interesting thing when it comes to money, because most of how we learn to be a human, like all of our human experience, we learn basically from the people we live with when we're first born all the way up to like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. So if your family had a tough time with money, there are some things you're going to think about money that are just going to look normal to you. They're just going to be part of your experience. They're just going to be things that have happened to you that will be true, right? There's just going to be things like that. And so there are different thought patterns that happen at different levels of wealth, right? If you could think about like, you know, uh, I don't know if you've ever seen the film 8 Mile with Eminem, where he plays the role of Rabbit, who lives in a trailer park and who has certainly grown up in generational poverty, right? Can you imagine if you asked Rabbit from 8 Mile and Mark Cuban, the shark from Shark Tank, the same question about the stock market? You're going to get a way different answer, because their thoughts, their realities, their circumstances, their feelings about money are going to be way different. And so, as we want to expand our financial well being, one of the things that we want to do is we want to look at our thought patterns and be like, does this thought pattern create a life of wealth and abundance, or does this thought pattern create scarcity when it impacts my feelings and impacts my actions? Right? So I'm going to tell you a quick story, and this is how I one of my biggest limiting beliefs, which is a thought pattern that was super problematic when when I started my business, was I had a belief that I could work and I could do my work and I could get paid. But if I was really helping people, it needed to be done for free. It needed to be done from the goodness of my heart. Now, I will tell you, this story, I know exactly the story that it came from. There was a situation that happened when I was a little kid that made me believe that, right? Like something happened in my life, and then all of a sudden I believe that if I I can work to make money, and that's cool. But when I help people, when I'm really truly helping people, it's got to be for free and from the goodness of my heart. Now, all professions, everybody that works is doing something to help people, right? So this idea, it didn't exactly make sense. But here's how it showed up. So I had this thought that it is wrong. I am wrong or bad if I'm helping people for money, right? I'm wrong or bad about that. And if I'm working and I'm just doing my job, it's cool. So here's the deal. Um, that that when I started selling, so this story is like from before Sheep to Sharks even started. When I was like selling stocks and bonds, and I was doing planning work for clients, and I love doing planning work for clients. I love it. My nerdy little heart like can't even contain itself when I get to like open up people's like credit card statements and help them put together a plan for all of their like cash flow, right? Like this is what I love. It's like the weirdest thing, but this is what I built a business on. This is what I love to do. I love to help people sort out their money stuff and help them get on track with their finances and help them pay for their kids' college or go on vacations or whatever floats their boats. You know what I mean? Like I love doing that. And so I was working with clients on their cash flow, but I wasn't selling stocks and bonds. And so I believed that if I was selling stocks and bonds, then I could get paid, for doing that because that was like the agreement. But I wasn't charging for my planning. But I was putting hours and hours into these plans, and I was providing a ton of value for my clients. And I'd be like, no, don't pay me. I would literally have people in my office with their checkbook out, and I'd be like, no, don't pay me. Because this thought pattern that if I take money for helping people, I'm wrong or bad, would make me feel guilty. And when I would feel guilty, I would take an action to alleviate the guilt. And so I would be like, no, no, don't pay me. I love to do this so much that you should not pay me for my brilliance and my efforts. And then I would create a situation of scarcity, right? So let me know in the comments if you're following, if you're with me. So like this thought would make me feel guilty. The guilt would make me undercharge or not charge at all, depending on who it was. And then that would cause a situation of like me not having enough money in my life, right? And so when I hired my first business coach, she was like, "You're doing what?" Horrified. She was like, "What? You're charging what for what? You're not even taking money for what? What?" And I'm like, it had never even occurred to me. It had never even occurred to me that I was undercharging because this was normal to me. This was just part of my normal day to day. And so when she showed me that I had a limiting belief around this, I was like, and then I did the work and I broke down the limiting belief. I was like, okay, so everybody who works is helping people. Restaurant owners are creating dinner, so I don't have to. Firefighters are fighting fires. It's helpful. Cops are doing whatever they do. Nurses are doing whatever they do. Bakers, plumbers, we all get paid for helping each other. Software engineers, and like everybody that works and for money is helping people. And I put these things together and I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden the guilt went away. So then that thought, I was like, okay, so I do this and I get paid for it because I bring a lot of value to the table. Like when I changed that belief of I get paid for helping people, I help people and I get paid for it. The guilt went away. Then the charging made more sense. And then within a year of working with my first business coach and sorting out that one idea, my income like the next month was like 8,000. I was making like 3 or 4,000, 8,000, then 12, then up and up and up and up. Within a year, I'd hit a couple of $25,000 months. Obviously, there was a like uh, every month was different. But by the end of that year, I'd hit a couple $25,000 months, and it was based on the idea that I, at first I was not charging because it would make me wrong or bad. I would be wrong or bad if I was charging, and then I was like, no, I charge because I'm helping people. I help people and I get paid for it. And of course. And then my income went up. So I am really excited to do Decoder Money Mindset because I've modified some activities that are out there into something that's very in depth and very complete. And so um, I'm doing Decoder Money Mindset. It's free. There's a workbook. Um, the registration link is in the description of this video. But it's one of those things where this Decoder Money Mindset work, I do it like a couple times a year, and I see where my beliefs are actually a problem. I'll tell you another time that I had a limiting belief around money, which was like I grew up in my dad sold insurance, and so there was some feast or famine in my household. Like there was enough money, but there was some times where the money would get real tight, and then there was some where there'd be a lot of money, and then there was some when the money would get real tight, and then there'd be a lot of money. And I just believed that this was normal again because it was just the way that I grew up. So it's just I just thought money was inconsistent. My dad made money on commissions, and that was just part of it. Like it was just normal to me. So when I started, what would happen was if I would make a lot of money, um, I would, and my bank account was all like fat, I would, I would slow down a little bit on the work. And and also I would spend more money. And so I would go and I would stock up because I knew that the money was going to be inconsistent, right? So when I would have money, that belief would trigger a feeling in my body that was like, winter is coming, you must go stock up. You must plant all of your acorns in the yard. And so I would go and I'd get rid of my money and I would enjoy the season of having a little extra money, and then the money would start to run dry, and then I would go and I would hustle and I would make, do the things. And then that was part of it. And so when I realized that pattern is, I was like, I don't want this exact same pattern. Like, this is not my junk. This is my dad's junk. Like, that's the way that he did it. And he was doing his best, and, he did great. This isn't about, but that was just part of it. And so then what I found was, so I found this feast or famine pattern, and I was like, oh, the belief is that money's inconsistent. And so then I show up inconsistently for the money, and then I have inconsistent money. Okay, cool. So we see that. And then I decided I didn't want that anymore. And so I changed a few things, and that didn't happen. But actually, what I did was I started saving a buffer. So that way the money was still inconsistent, but it didn't impact me because I would build up a reserve tank, and I would have a little bit of buffer with my cash flow. So my cash might be doing this. My effort might be doing this, but I had a buffer. So I didn't feel as roller coastery as what was really going on. Then I did this exact same activity again that I'm teaching for free tomorrow and on Friday. And what I found was, wow, I still have a belief that money is inconsistent. So I was saving because I was like, this pattern I don't like. And then I looked at it again sometime later, and I was like, oh, the pattern's really based on a belief that the money's going to be inconsistent. And so then I decided that I wanted consistent money. And I will tell you, so quick, probably within a few months, I started taking payment plans for my clients. And then I would have like a set base of income in my business where I would take instead of having my clients pay in full and having my income do this, I would let people have payment plans, and then the income, it wasn't perfectly straight. It would still go up over time, like a little bit, but I had a base where I knew that I could pay myself a salary. I could grow based on that stability. And so that was another, like, for me, that was like another pretty big turning point. And if I was to tell you every single limiting belief that I found doing this activity and I broke, I'd be here all day. You don't want to you don't want to hear every single thought that was unhelpful that Brie Sodano ever had, probably. But what I do want to really impress upon you is that this free masterclass is super good, because what it does is it takes you back to your childhood, and it shows you, um, how your thoughts create your actions, or your thoughts create your feelings, create your actions, create your circumstances, and then it loops around. And so when you see the programs that you got programmed with, like from an objective point of view, like, it's so good. It is so good. And so I'm so anyways, I hope you will come. I hope you will share this. I hope you'll bring a friend. I'll tell you, the presentation is a little bit, you'll get a little bit more out of it if you do bring a friend, because then you can kind of talk about it, and then you'll learn twice as fast. You'll have all your junk, and then you'll see all their junk. And I'll tell you, looking at somebody else's junk without judgment, it always helps your learning go a little faster. So anyways, so please, even if you like this training, please feel free to share this. I really, I made this training. I'm doing it for free twice, and I'm really excited about it. I will tell you, I get the sweetest emails from people who will do this work, and then they'll be like, "I raised my income. I asked for a raise. I looked at my credit card debt and I paid it." Like, obviously people don't pay it all off all at once, but like, I did this. I made big changes because I changed the way that I think, and I love that. That's like what I live for. My nerdy little heart. It's just like, I just want people to be free. Like, I want people to be so free, and financial freedom is really part of that. Like, financial freedom is really part of making the most out of our lives, in this lifetime. And so I do this. I just do this for people, so that way they could get their thoughts straightened out and get their money right, and then go live their lives. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me happy when I watch my clients go on vacations, or, when they pay for IVF and I get to watch that kid turn 2 and 3 on the internet. Like, it makes me happy to see, um, when clients, when I teach them this work and then they do it and then their lives get better. So, anyways, so I hope you will come. I love you. I appreciate you. Please share this. Please send it to all your friends right in their inbox. You should listen to this lady. She's so smart. You should come to her live class, and then we could talk about the things that we've learned. All right. Bye, everybody.